And with me in the studio physically here, I have Susanna Grundstro, Customer Executive from Sofigate. Welcome, great to have you here.
Thank you, Peter.
And you're talking a bit later, your 15 minutes. 15 minutes of fame here on HR 2030. X is the new black for HR, so more on that soon.
Yeah.
But hey, before we take our next, or go deeper with our next guest, another reminder about 3 deep dives starting in approximately 20 minutes, re-skilling at scale, and in Finnish organization, oppiminen ja henkilöstöhallinnon HR-ratkaisut. That was for the Finnish part of the audience. Hey, Susanna, have I understood right that you have been working with and in HR for many years already? So why is that? Why do you love HR? Because I presume that you love it.
I do. And indeed, I've been working in HR roles more than 15 years in pharma and in IT. And then I finally took the leap that all HR professionals have been encouraged to do. So I moved to the business side. So I've been in business side roughly 2 years now.
Is it a good combination, natural combination?
I love it. I love it really, to look HR from the different angle. That is really cool. And I think I really still love HR because it's we have amazing time that we are living at the moment. There's so much changing. People are in the focus, and we are finally getting the eyes on our organization. And I think that's super cool. And we have all the possibilities to kind of rethink our ways of working and what kind of added value we bring to the people and to the organizations.
True. I mean, the technological change, partly because of COVID, the cultural change, people at work in focus, the customer in focus. There's a lot of things really now sort of moving.
Moving on. And today I'm talking about employee experience and how that is kind of new black for us. But I would like to ask you, Peter, one thing.
Wow, this sounds dangerous, but go on.
We in a context of employee experience, there is this term "moment that mattered." Or moment that matters to me. And could you describe one moment that mattered during your career and what kind of employee experience that provided to you as an employee?
That's, Susanna, a very good question. I have to say that one thing which is a bit more abstract and not related to one moment in a certain workplace must be sort of working with something I regard as my passion, and that was communication. Yeah. Whether it's journalism or other forms of media or communication or whatever, the stuff we do here now. So or writing or coaching, communication or whatever. So passion is one thing, sort of game changer when I found that wanting to do when I sort of grow up in a way, and I was way past 20 already then when I really decided on it. And the other thing is on a general level as well, perhaps not one sort of moment, but I'd say in workplaces where there's, of course, definitely not sort of a toxic culture or anything, or a culture where people wouldn't regard each other or whatever. So if you get the support, a bit of sort of, right kind of humor, people trusting you, give you, things to do where you can do proactively. I think all these sorts of things, if I have to, live now and
like passion and mastery, autonomy,
and the right people, as they say, sort of, if you want to enjoy and perhaps even succeed and stuff, so surround yourself with good people. I think that's the thing. I guess no one likes it, but I definitely. I mean, if I'm not surrounded, with good people I sort of like and we have a good chemistry, it's difficult to work well.
Good answer.
Thank you very much. Hey, anyway, you have your 15-minute slot, Susanna. I hope. Thank you for if my answer was any good.
It was
useful for you. Hey, with business technologies and more on Sofigate and HR professionals, it's all in your own presentation. So I'll let you go now and give your HR 2030 X is the new black for HR presentation. So it's all yours.
Okay.
Thanks. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, everybody. Hello, HR colleagues. I'm here to talk a little bit about employee experience. And for me, during the HR years, EX was a little bit like salespeople, mumbo jumbo. What's new into this concept to me? I was quite critical towards that term. And I might think that some of you might be as well. But doing quite a lot of research and reading different studies and really getting to know Josh Bersin, who is really, really recommended to follow. He's an amazing guy from US. I kind of realized that there is very much to take in employee experience for us in HR. So let me give you a couple of my key findings during this 15 minutes presentation. And I would like to start with the future of HR. 2030, that's not that far away. We had a brilliant visionary HR leads across Finnish organizations attending us in Zoom, a series of Zoom meetings during pandemic. And we used some kind of foresight techniques to cover some of the megatrends that are really facing our HR world and organizations world at the moment. And we generated 3 scenarios. Those are actually this published HR Manifesto. It is available in Sofigate's partner booth. So please go there and download. You can read the full story. But a short capture about our thoughts were around these different scenarios. First of all, we know that the technology is really coming and it's amazing and there's so much opportunities. And actually what we were thinking is that most of the HR jobs will be taken care of the robots, AI, technology in general in the coming years. That is true in many organizations already. And then there are organizations that are just stepping into that. But we say that 2030, HR or even managers are not needed anymore that much when it comes to daily pragmatic processes and stuff we normally do, because we are not that many. Workforce is declining all the time. So actually it is a golden bullet to leash the technology to kind of do our job that we know that today. What we need obviously is the modern technologies. Without those, we are in trouble. The second scenario is around social workplace, which is of course more and more important during the pandemic. How do we create the glue for individuals to, come, join our organization and stay? And that is the soft stuff that I come a little bit later in this presentation, but it's around providing meaningful jobs, coaching, being present, using empathy as a tool, and really making sure that when people come to the workplaces, it's something they love to do, and so that they get many things around that. So that requires new capabilities from us as an HR professionals, but also very much from our leadership. And we shouldn't discontinue in investing our leadership capabilities in the organizations. We should actually accelerate that one quite a lot. And then the third one, we all know the term around great resignation that is ongoing in all the organizations and around the globe. We are stepping into the gig economy world. So that means that perhaps the employees are not like normal as we think about employees anymore. They come from freelancing, they come through different ecosystems, networks, and people are even more selective on where they want to work, where they want to spend their time. And actually, it might challenge also HR departments to think that how much we are needed is if everybody in the future are operating as a freelancer, so how much HR can then give support. So we need some kind of new operating models to kind of run this ecosystem. Well, why does EX matter? A little bit of statistics. This is from Josh Bersin's really recent study. where you can see that actually it is really tangible and measurable. You get people outcomes, you get innovation outcomes, and you get business outcomes by investing into your employee experience. Who wouldn't like to get more engaged employees, better retention, have a great place to work, having more innovations in the organization, and then eventually exceeding financial targets and delight customers? That's definitely what we all want to do. Here's a short quiz that you could actually do during this presentation, or perhaps later today. You can find the link in chat. And this is our kind of a version around different steps that you can take around employee experience. This is also very linked to technology. So please go and test, see what is your level, and then you get actually report around that. So go ahead and investigate. This might be my favorite slide actually on this presentation. This is really kind of a manifesto for HR. And it's kind of in this iceberg model, which means that on the surface, in the iceberg, you have all the basic. You have the processes, you have the payroll, you have the perks, recognition. You might have the, let's say that I used to have a part of the career where our office moved. It was a tech company. And we thought that this is really cool thing. And of course, the new office was a cool thing. We added breakfast. We thought that this is a cool thing for employees and some place to go and chat. Eventually, that wasn't actually a good choice because employees started to nag about different cereals that they wanted to have, different milk they want to have. So actually this breakfast, the cool thing that we thought that will raise our employee experience, was actually considered as a hygiene factor. And all that in iceberg is hygiene factors. So the things that you need to do for your organization and for your people. And that is the area where you should automate. You should use technology as much as possible to run that operation. When you have built that correctly, that leashes the time for you to be more in the soft side of HR, and meaning that under the surface, and that is really where the employee experience comes. It's the meaningful work, it's the autonomy, mastery, purpose, how you lead that kind of organization, how you kind of get the full potential from your leadership, from your managers to help you out on that. And that is definitely what businesses are looking to us to do. And that is something that human needs to do. Technology cannot do that. So that's our big ticket actually in this whole thing to go in. There's also challenges, like challenging work. It doesn't need to be easy. So everything that is above, there in the iceberg, it needs to be easy. It needs to be super simple, like just click and go type of mentality. But when it comes to this route, it can be challenging. It can be like, let's take IKEA example. If you build your own furniture, there's a study from Harvard and Yale saying that actually customers that build their own furniture, they are more likely to be actually attached to those furniture more than they would buy from the shelf. We all know IKEA is a mess when you start to build something on your own. But when you have the effort, when you do that, afterwards you are pretty proud of yourself. And that is a thing that we could also think about in the organization, how we challenge the employees in a right way so that they feel that actually I've accomplished a big thing here. That is super cool. HR is more important than ever. That's what I want to say. So we shouldn't think that our species is dying or, we are not there anymore in a couple of years. But this requires us to rethink our operations quite a lot. And the new skills that we need. This might be my favorite topic as well, because, I'm from human sciences from my background, and everything that goes into the learning and developing and growing, the individuals, that is really close to my heart, and really I think the key in the HR profession. So in the future, as we step to 2030, we need to think that, well, HR skills is definitely not anymore relevant, kind of enough. It's relevant, but it's not enough. We need to know of course, the processes. We need to lead the health and well-being. We need to think about the employee experience. But actually, we are more and more going to the consultative roles where actually you help the business lead through people. You need to be really hand in hand with your CEO and with your CFO to plan the businesses so that these will kind of companies are developing and taking into account the people. Not only money, not only operations or factories or processes and so forth, but really thinking that what is the asset that we have in our hand? Talent. Very crucial point, which is already talked here in the presentation, but it's a technology. So in HR, we need to, well, I can tell my past. I was, in my previous HR director or HR manager roles, I was often the person who didn't give a shit, sorry my French, about the technology. I was like, okay, it's a good thing. Yes, we need a technology. We need some HR system, but actually, I don't care. So please do it. And it's so wrong. And I think we should all think about that as a catalyst to the better future. And we should, in every role, think about how we can contribute to that technology. We should learn AI. We should learn the data analytics. We should learn RPA. We should learn everything that is relevant for HR and work technologies. And actually, we should stop talking about HR technologies because eventually the technology that is used to lead people in the organization, that should be actually really critical for business to understand how the people are doing in the organization. Understand how the teams are doing, how effective teams are, how the individuals are developing, how the performance is optimized on a nice way, on a kind of growth mentality. And so I think there's really much in there for us to learn. And this is from Matrix. Those who are as old as I am, you know the Matrix movie, and you know that there is two options. You can take this blue bill, you can stay and think that, okay, HR is as it is, we should continue as we are. Or then you can take the red bill and start think differently. And start to think also that, are we existing 2030? How do we kind of make ourselves needed in the future? I'm representing Sofigate. Sofigate used to be and is still very strongly kind of IT technology house. So we help our customers to lead technologies, also select the business technologies, like how business best gets the return on investment from the technologies. And we do that also for HR. So my favorite project is as such where we interview the business and collect their insights about the company future, how they see the people should be in the center of the organization and what they lack at the moment from the system and from the HR as well. And that is really providing us good groundings for any selection. So for us, the technology is an enabler, and we always need to find the most suitable one. It's not necessarily the one that client would first select. We can bring the different opinions there, and I think there's a huge variety of different options and different architectures that you can use. But today, I was so privileged to come here and talk about this topic, and I thank you who listened to me, and I hope you a very, very wonderful rest of the 2020.